So today's video is a side-by-side comparison of Philips Hue's LED strip, an LED strip from Lifx, which is Wi-Fi based, not Zigbee at all, and a Zigbee based strip that actually works with Philips Hue from a company called Ajax. Ajax are pretty cool. I've dealt with them previously with one of their smart home bulbs, and I thought it would be good to throw this one into the mix so that you have three to choose from. 2 Zigbee, 1 Wi-Fi, which one's gonna win? I am going to present the winner at the end of the video as if my opinion was a fact, because on YouTube, all opinions are facts. So normally, if there is something going on with Philips Hue that I don't think is very good, I'll rant and rave about it like a maniac. Today, I'm just going to bite my lip. If you get an Amazon device sent through the post these days, you plug it in and it already knows everything, to a slightly worrying degree. Right, let's see what you can do.
Hello.
Hello.
Please wait whilst I connect to your Wi-Fi. From now on I will call you Paul. Your mother's maiden name is weird. Your bank account is embarrassing. Would you like me to search for surgeons to remove that mole from your left butt cheek?
The Lifx stuff, it takes a little bit longer than it ought to set up, in my opinion. It relies on 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi, which will bother a few people, but once it's set up, it's solid and it really isn't a massive complaint. The Philips Hue setup has always been flawless as long as you're using their hub. If you want to use their equipment with somebody else's hub, it's a pain in the butt. The Ajax strip is probably the winner of this category because it's more malleable. It will work with Philips Hue's hub, it works with IKEA's hub, it works with HUBITAT, it will basically work with any Zigbee 3.0 hub. If you're looking for a winner for the setup process, which again, pretty minor complaint, it's got to be the Ajax strip. So the first one, the Lifx app, is really cool. Whether you're using the original one or you then use the original one to transfer your devices into the beta, both apps are really good. The beta app especially is really well laid out. I like the fact that you've got lots of different effects like candle flickering and motion if you've got a Lifx product that has multiple different coloured lights in a sequence. Really easy to use. The Philips Hue app is nowhere near as good. Am I allowed to say that without biting my lip? Hang on. I just find with the Philips Hue products, you've got like, oh, add a light bulb. Now the light bulb has vanished forever. You then have to go and realise for yourself, oh, I have to add the light bulb to a room before I can do anything with it. Why is that not part of the setup process? When I add the bulb, it should automatically take me through a wizard that says, now put it in a room. It doesn't. But it does have, again, a lot of different effects, flickering and all that stuff is present here too. A sunrise, sunset thing, which I've always appreciated. The Philips Hue app isn't terrible, but it isn't great either. It could really do with quite a big improvement, and probably about 5 years ago, because I mean, they've been using the same app for forever, and it's always been garbage. The Ajax strip, of course, is cheating a little bit because it is going to use whatever software comes with whatever hub you connect it to. So if it's Philips Hue, it's going to piggyback off Philips Hue's software. The thing that lets it down a little bit, I guess, is that it's advertising itself as a bulb instead of an LED strip. That's what Philips Hue detects it as, at least. And therefore, I think I have to make the winner Lifx because its software is more intuitive than Philips and it's got all of the same effects. Welcome back to Fantasy Bollocks Corner, where every company in the world loves to throw numbers at you that mean absolutely nothing. This is the case for these three strips because each one advertises a lumen-based number to tell you how bright it is, and it's wrong in every case. For one thing, it will depend on what colour you're looking at as to which one is the brightest. One is brighter than the others for white, but is less bright than the others for purple, for example. So all of them are perfectly bright, so don't get me wrong, this again is not really a big deal. all of them gave me a migraine. I'm not joking. That is the brightest setting, and by goodness is it bright. And the thing with the Lifx strip is, that isn't really any brighter than the purple was. It's a strip that manages to maintain its number of lumens despite the fact it isn't just doing white. If we now turn that off and switch to Philips Hue, it's not as bright. It isn't. I hope you can see on camera that it isn't as bright, because I hate having to just tell you and have all the Philips Hue owners go, "No, he's lying! He's a liar!" I'm not lying, that is not as bright. Let's try the Ajax strip. It's brighter. That looks to me to be brighter than the Philips Hue. I'm hoping I'll be able to tell afterwards when I do the editing. But to me, in real life, right now, that looks like a brighter strip than the Hue strip is. Lifx won by a country mile. So on to colour, where Lifx wins by a country mile. The colour saturation aspect of this, Lifx is known throughout the industry as having the best, but until you compare them side by side, you can't see just how ridiculous it is. Check this out. So I'm hoping that you can see on camera what I can see in real life, which is the most delicious purple I think I have ever seen. That is something Prince would be proud of, and it is ultra bright. I have never seen an LED strip cast out that much light on a colour setting. That is mental. So I'm going to switch the Lifx strip off, and we're going to switch to the Philips Hue strip. And the first thing is, I hope you can see this on camera, there is no purple there. There's barely purple at all. It's like a weird white that's got some kind of blue in it. It's just useless by comparison, and it is definitely 100% duller. I hope to God you can see that on camera, because that's the most unbelievable demonstration of the difference between these two products. And we're going to try the Ajax strip. You know what? That beats the Philips strip for not only colour, but for brightness as well. That is definitely brighter. I can't understand it. I don't know if, I think Philips is just dreadful when it comes to purple. And this brings me on to what is probably the most standout feature of the Lifx strip, because it's the only strip that has this. It has addressable zones. I know you don't know what that means. The addressable zones feature means that you can set individual colours to individual parts of the strip. So when you want to animate the strip, it can make the colours like fluctuate across the strip. Everything else in this category is just purely solid colour. I don't think Philips even do one of these strips yet, and I guarantee when they do, it'll cost about £1 billion. So yeah, when it comes to extra features, the Lifx has it in the bag. A couple of final considerations then before I wrap this one up. The first one is, if you disconnect the power supply from each one of these LED strips and then reconnect the power supply, guess what the Philips Hue strip does? It forgets everything. It forgets the brightness it used to be, it forgets the colour it used to be, it forgets your birthday, it forgets everything. Right, so the problem with that is, if I install these strips under a kitchen cabinet and then connect them to a power button so I can switch them on and off at the wall should I feel like it, when I switch them off and back on again, Philips is all wrong. This is ridiculous. And last time I pointed this out on camera to people, the comments section was filled with Philips Hue owners going, "No, because if you update the firmware, you can set it so it doesn't do that anymore." I can't. I've tried to update the firmware now on three different routers on 2 different Hue products, and it just spins forever. It just sits there going, "Yeah, I'm doing it. Yep, I got the firmware. Yeah, I'll stick it in the bulb in a minute." No, you won't. You'll never stick it in the bulb because you've got something wrong with your brain. I don't understand it. Why have Philips built them this way in the first place? The second they left the factory, they should have just worked. I don't get it. I never will. Don't argue with me in the comments. You're wrong. Sorry, what I meant to say was, I can't help myself. I can't, because I can't forgive a company that treats its customers as badly as it does, costs as much money as it does, and does stupid things like just forgets what colour it used to be when you cut the power, unless you put a firmware update on that you can't flipping install. The firmware update thing is not a good argument. Please stop defending this company with that nonsense. Finally then, the Lifx stuff is Wi-Fi based, whereas the other two are Zigbee, which means there is no hub. If you're the kind of person who doesn't want to buy extra hubs, doesn't want to fit extra hubs to their router, you don't need to. The Lifx strip works without one, which is awesome. Finally, the price, and this is going to be a bone of contention for Philips Hue owners, because they're going to say the Lifx stuff is more expensive. The strip itself is more expensive than the Philips strip, but only if you don't have to buy the Philips Hue hub. If you're already a Philips owner, you might want to buy the Philips strip. But, that said, it's nowhere near as pretty as the Lifx strip. The Lifx strip is way more saturated colour-wise, it's brighter for every colour, it's brighter for whites, you have more of a range of whites from blues through to yellows. It is just a much better product and worthy of its price tag. The Ajax strip is cheaper again than everything. So the Ajax strip is a lower named brand, but actually does a really good job for its money. It beats the Philips Hue strip in most of the areas. So my advice to you, if you're already a Philips Hue owner, if you've already got your head stuck right in the rabbit hole, then I recommend the Ajax strip because it outstrips, forgive the pun, the Philips Hue strip. It's better, it's cheaper, I prefer it in every way, and it's longer. I haven't actually said that yet. That strip is longer than both of those two strips. If you're new to the smart home market, you might want to consider that Lifx is way prettier, doesn't require a hub, and has a reasonable price tag for how good it is. They do a whole host of other stuff nowadays. They do more bulbs than they used to. They do this thing, whichever way I'm pointing, this in my room. That's a really pretty piece of kit and has all the same effects as this strip does. If you're looking to save money and you're already a Philips Hue owner, Ajax. If you're starting out, consider the Lifx strip. And if you're got your head in a rabbit hole and think Paul Hibbert's a big old jerk, then just buy the Hue strip. I don't care if you buy it. I don't care. I care. Stop buying rubbish. That's it. So who's the winner? I don't know. It literally depends on all of those things. It depends on who you are and what you want. You decide for yourself. I tricked you. That's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. That will tell YouTube's algorithms it was good and more people should see it. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see some more of this guy, and ding that bell if you want to be notified when I upload videos. These awesome, amazing, incredibly handsome people are my patrons. I love them to the ends of the earth. You can be one at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and either way, I love you forever. This is my social medias, my Facebooks and my Instagrams and my Twitters. Come and hang out with me there. I'll be your best friend, definitely make you laugh. That's it, see you next week. I'm gonna start talking about how they just... It automatically seems to magically know everything. It knows everything. And the reason for this is because this something has been set. What is that? Why am I doing this? And it just seems to know everything. That was too dramatic, Paul. Do it again. I would have to wait 22.8 years for the Lifx strip to die before I could say it reached its...